I'm a man of few words and I speak with a very timid voice. So just for today, I'm going to project my voice so everyone can hear me. So my name is Sultan Amin. I'm head of sales. We are Dynamics consultants. We're right over there. So if anyone wants to come and speak to us, we're right over there. So there's no excuse. I know what you all look like. So if you don't, there's going to be trouble. So what am I here to talk to you about? I'm here to talk to you about Microsoft and AI. And I've been sat here for the last day or so hearing what people have to talk about AI, and people are talking about robotics and people are talking about this, but no one's actually talked about operational efficiency. Why do you want to have AI? Why do you want a coherent, integrated solution? Because it's going to save you time and it's going to save you money. Some of the clients that we work with here, they're here today. So if you want to go and have a word with them and say, look, are we doing a good job? They're here to speak to, right? So what I'm going to talk about are the challenges in manufacturing. What are the challenges that people are going through day to day in manufacturing that they're struggling with? One of the first things is real-time visibility, manual exercises. How much time are people spending updating Excel spreadsheets at the end of the day, at the end of a week? It's an absolute nightmare. You know, wanting people to be able to react. Production managers can't see material shortages because they haven't got the real-time data. You know, data silos. People, how many people here, if you ask them, well, what are you using for finance? I'm using QuickBooks. I'm using Sage 200. You know, I'm using something else. And then what are you doing to control your inventory or stock? Oh, I'm using an Excel spreadsheet. Excel spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets. Do they talk to each other? Do you even know what is actually going on with your business? I don't know. You know, sales teams are promising, yes, we can sell you this, but they don't even know what's in stock. You know, with legacy ERP systems, I can guarantee you if I walked anywhere through the aisles, they'll be like, right, do you know what? In 1970, our owner wrote this piece of code and we're still working with it. And you'd be like, well, how is this even possible, you know? And this expo is all about, you know, what is the latest innovations? And it's like, no one's actually talking about your IT infrastructure. It's like me going to the gym, working on my arms, and I've got high cholesterol and I've got heart disease. Well, what's the point? What is at the heart of your business? It has to be an integrated solution that will allow you to take up all the data, analyze it, and then give you a solution for what you need to do. You know, there are high maintenance costs. You know, cost of ownership, you know, risk of systems. You know, how many systems or how many companies here, they might spend 2 million on a really fancy robotic machine, but have they looked at their cybersecurity? Jaguar Land Rover, how many billions of pounds worth of machinery do they have? But yet they couldn't secure their own system for a cyber attack. Why? Because no one actually thought, you know what, this is actually important stuff. You know, with legacy ERP systems, you know, that system that they've been using since the 1970s, it gets customized, it gets built upon, it gets built upon, it gets built upon. And it's actually a security risk, it's actually an operational risk, because that person who wrote this piece of code, that wrote this system, is going to retire. Well, what's the continuation plan? I've like literally spoken to customers who have said, right, our engineer is going to retire. Well, what are you going to do with it? We don't know. It's like, well, how are you actually going to get operational efficiency? How are you going to save money? How are you going to save time? Can anyone put an amount of quantity on, if you're saving time at work, what is that actually worth to you? The solution, you're probably thinking, oh, he's just harking on, he's ranting and raving. Well, what's the solution? I'll probably actually give you a good solution. Is what Microsoft have put together. It's called Business Central. It's an ERP system that allows you to use a one-stop solution to manage your whole business from point of sale to finance, to manufacturing, to warehouse, to distribution, everything all in one place. A single point of truth. It was actually voted by Forbes as the best ERP system for 2024. It's got over 60,000 customers and it's available in 180 different countries. To give you an idea, this is the length and breadth of the system of what it can do. Now you're probably thinking, okay, is he just selling stuff? Yes, I am selling stuff. I'm a salesperson. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not an engineer. But what I can tell you is that I'm going to give you a solution to your problems. Now, how does AI work with this? Everyone's talked about AI here. The whole AI kerfuffle, this whole beast that's been unleashed, was designed by Microsoft. They made it open source. If they hadn't, there would be no AI. No one would be talking about ChatGPT or Sage or this or that or robotics. It's all come from Microsoft. So actually, please understand that, you know what? It's not all about the end user and what you're going to do on the shop floor. It's about the think tank. What are you going to get from your data? The most important thing in this day and age is data. How you use it, what are you going to do with it, and how are you going to store it? If you can't analyze your data, what's the point of having all those gigabytes of data? Now, with AI and Copilot, what will it allow you to do? It will improve productivity. You know, it will take out the manual tasks. It will predict, it will learn, it will help people within the workforce. You know, people will be much more creative and it will eliminate repetitive tasks. And again, it's all about operational efficiency. It's about saving time and it's about saving money. Now, how can it be used in manufacturing? So I'm going to get to the point. I want to make sure I don't talk over my time limit as well. So it can forecast demand, adjust production schedules according to what is actually needed. You know, it will reduce overproduction. These are key elements of manufacturing that people want to sweep under the carpet. When the FD looks at the accounts and everything, he's want to ask all these questions. You know, anomaly detection, when you're producing something, if you can predict something is not going to be right or be able to show what you have done is not quite right, it takes away human error. Predictive maintenance. Now imagine you've got all these machines here and you can actually have a system in place to show you that actually the way you're using this system is going to break this £2 million piece of kit. Or do you know what? It needs to be serviced at the right time. Why can't you have that? That is what AI you want to have, a practical usage. You know, in warehouse management, it will give you the optimal locations to put something. So if you need something really quickly and it's used a lot of time, it's no point being at the back of the warehouse and John's got to go, just be able to walk 20 minutes to get something. You know, it will tell you that if you've got an order coming from somewhere, it's really important, we don't have it in stock. Or if this is something that we use a lot, let's replenish it before it gets going. And then you don't have that operational inefficiency. You know, my favorite one is voice or chatbots to tell individuals where they are. You know, you could use that in a really bad way. But you know what? There are a lot of evil people in manufacturing, I can tell you. Da-dum, dum, da-dum. So people think AI, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's going to be like, you know, it's the end of the world. It's, get to the chopper. And you want to watch Predator? No? Okay, no worries. No more Arnie references. So people think that by using AI, you're going to have job displacement. People are going to lose their jobs. No, it's not. You know, you've got to think about using technology to empower your workforce, not use to cut it. You've got to use technology to help people, to train people, make them more efficient. You know, you've got to think of it as the rise of business. You've got to use it to optimize production, optimize efficiency, use data analytics, and use it to empower the workforce. Now look at that, I finished with 4 minutes to stand and I could talk for hours, as you can probably tell. So what I will do is I'll throw it out to the floor. Are there any questions?